Om. 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 Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashyakrutau Vande Bhagavantah Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murtibhedavibhagine Vyomavadvyaptadehaaya Dakshinamurtaye Namah Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharyamadhyamam Asmadacharyaparyantam Vande Guruparamparam Om Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganasatrisham Tattvasyadirlakshyam Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami Sadgurum Tam Namami. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Punaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So yesterday we were talking about something very, very important. What is the cause of this world? And we said that one of the things of the world cannot be the cause of the world. If everyone can put on their videos, it'll be nice. So one of the things of the world cannot be the cause of the world. So if the world is Nama, Rupa, Guna, Desha, Kala, time, space, objects with names, forms, and qualities, then the cause of the world must be something which is nameless, timeless, spaceless, qualityless, objectless, whatever you want to call it. That must be the cause of the world. Agre, that's the word used over here. Agram, Puratanam, the ancient one. That should be the cause of the world. Then I had asked you a question yesterday that from a timeless, changeless entity, can this changing, timeless world emerge? Very interesting. From the standpoint of the world, its cause is that timeless, changeless entity. But from the standpoint of that truth, that timeless truth, when you look at the world, it is not possible for the world to emerge because a changeless thing cannot become a changing thing. Right? Because by its very nature, we are calling it what? Changeless. Yeah, timeless means changeless. So we are saying that the truth is changeless and the world is what? Changing. So from the standpoint of the world, the truth is the cause of it. But from the standpoint of the truth, you cannot have any world emerging from a timeless, changeless entity. Is this understood by everyone? If so, please nod your heads. Yes? You'll have to. जगत की दृष्टि से जगत का कारण क्या है? अनाम, अरूप, अगुण, अदेश, अकाल. बट सत्य की दृष्टि से हम देखेंगे तो जो बदलता नहीं है, अविकारी जो है, वो अविकारी वस्तु में से विकारी जगत कैसे आ सकता है? हो ही नहीं सकता है. इसीलिए वेदांत क्या कहता है? जगत मिथ्या. क्या कहता है? जगत लगता है लेकिन एक्चुअली हो ही नहीं सकता है. वो पचाना बहुत कठिन है कि नहीं? हम हर बार मैं यही कहती हूँ कि वेदांत को समझना बहुत सरल है, लेकिन एक्सेप्ट करना बहुत कठिन है। हम जगत को देखते हैं, उससे क्या सब व्यवहार करते हैं। अभी मैं भी बोल रही हूँ तो जगत में ही बोल रही हूँ कि जगत के बाहर बैठ के बोल रही हूँ? जगत में ही बोल रही हूँ ना। तो ये हम कहते हैं जो जगत अनुभव होता है, अभी सब होता है, तो वो कैसे हो सकता है? क्या मिथ्या ऐसे बोल देते हैं। तो मिथ्या का अर्थ ऐसा नहीं होता है कि नहीं है, मिथ्या का अर्थ होता है कि भासता है। इट appears to be there. It appears as long as you see, it appears to be there. Huh? So it is not that it does not exist, but it appears to exist. What is the difference? भासता है, ऐसे कहते हैं। अच्छा ठीक है, वो पचाना फिर भी बहुत ही डिफिकल्ट होता है, इजी नहीं है समझना, ठीक है ना? तो अभी आगे क्या कहते हैं कि हमको क्या समझना चाहिए? थोड़ा पास में आए और वो जगत के आदि कारण को छोड़ दे। अभी वो जो जगत मिथ्या वगैरह बात तो छोड़ दे, अब कहे कि ये सत्य क्या है, थोड़ा पास में आकर बताइए। तो कहा क्या? प्राणस्य प्राणः, चक्षुषः चक्षुः, श्रोत्रस्य श्रोत्र, मनसो मनः, मन का मन, प्राण का प्राण. What is this? It is the mind of the mind, the prana of the prana, the eye of the eye. Now, what is the meaning of eye of the eye? See, our attention is always on the eyes. And what we see through the eyes, not even on the eyes, on things we see through the eyes. Says, no, shift your attention. You want to get to the truth. How do you get to the truth? From what you see with your eyes, go to the eyes that see the objects of the world. जिसको कहते हैं, ये इस विवेक को कहते हैं दृष्टा दृश्य विवेक. क्या कहेंगे आप उसको? क्या कहेंगे? दृष्टा दृश्य विवेक. हमने नित्य अनित्य विवेक किया ना, 2 दिन पहले. नित्य अनित्य विवेक. अभी ये क्या है? It is also a higher order thinking. This is what drashta drishya vivek, the distinction between the seer and the seen. This is the next higher order thinking. What do you mean by that? So it is said, there's a principle that the seer is different from the seen. Which is the one? Just remember these principles. What? Number 1, the seer is different from the seen. The seer can see the seen, but the seen cannot see the seer. Number 2, the seer is different from the seen. The seer can see the seen, but the seen cannot see the seer. We'll just keep these 2 principles. This be enough. First, is the most important is the seer is different from the seen. Now, you're all looking at the computer, right? So, the computer is different from you. Do you all agree? Yes, your eyes are seeing. Thank God. You know, the eyes don't become of the form of the computer. They don't, thank God. The seer is different from the seen. This is a very interesting thing. More easy to understand. If I see a donkey, I don't become a donkey. Okay? So that is easy to understand. Yeah. So, seer is different from the seen. What I see, I don't become that. Right? So, seer is different from the seen. So, eyes see forms, right? So, eyes don't become that form. Eyes see those forms, right? Seer is different. Now, the eyes can see the computer, but the computer cannot see the eyes, right? The eyes see the computer. The computer don't see the eyes. The seer can see you will say, no. When I see, I see in a mirror, or I'm sitting in front of this, so my computer can see my eyes. No. You are seeing a reflection. Even in the mirror, what you are seeing is not your eyes. We all say, no, I see my eyes every day in the mirror. No, you are not seeing your eyes. What are you seeing in the mirror? Are you seeing your eyes? No, what do you see? You see only a reflection of your eyes. You're not seeing your eyes. You're seeing a reflection of your eyes. So here it is said, seer is different from the seen. The seer can see the seen, but the seen cannot see the seer. Okay? So the eyes see the form, but the forms don't see the eyes. Now, how do you know what your eyes see? So the mind knows what the eyes see, but the eyes don't know what the mind thinks. Is it a fact or not? आंख जो है वो जो देखती है वो मन को पता होता है, लेकिन जो आंख में देखा है आंख मन को नहीं देख सकती है. The mind doesn't know, the eyes don't know what the mind is thinking, right? The seer knows the seen, but the seen cannot know the seer. The mind knows, seer means knower also, you must understand that. So the mind knows what the eyes see, but the eyes don't know what the mind thinks. Eyes are different from the mind, right? So having understood this, now how do you know that your mind knows? So you say, I know, my mind knows. I know, I understand. I know, I don't understand. So who knows that you don't understand or understand? The understanding and not understanding is happening where? In the mind, in the thoughts, right? So I know my thoughts. I know I understand. I know I don't understand. Is it okay? Very clear. I know I understand. I know I don't understand. Very clear? So therefore, if it is understood that I know what my mind says, I know what my mind thinks, there's an I different from the mind. So this I that is different from the mind, the I that is, normally the ego and the I become very close as though, but we know the only difference between the ego and the Atma is that the Atma is there all throughout. The ego still comes and goes, comes and goes. So don't worry about that ego or the Jivatma. Right now we are only thinking that the Atma, that's why it's called the eye of the eye. Now you understand why it's called the eye of the eye? Mind of the mind. Meaning it is because of which the mind exists. If there was no eye, the mind cannot exist. If there was no eye, the eyes cannot exist. If there was no eye, the ears cannot hear, nothing. So therefore, it's called the mind of the mind, the eye of the eye. It is what gives existence to the eyes and the ability of the eyes to see, the existence to the ears and the ability of the ears to listen, etc., etc. And that is why it is called what? Pranasya pranaha, chakshusahas chakshuhu. Okay, everyone got this point? You can nod your head then. Yes? So pranasya pranaha. Ye vichikyuhu, one who knows this, Brahma Purana Agrayam. Now comes some very interesting question. How do I know this mind? How do I know this Atma? You say the mind cannot reach it. The mind, see, I know the mind, but the mind cannot know I. The seer knows the seen, but the seen cannot know the seer. Right? Now, if I cannot know with all the instruments that I have, then how do I know this Atma exists? Then the Atma probably doesn't exist. You say you cannot see it with your eyes, you cannot see it with your hear it with the ears, and you cannot know it with your mind. At least we thought we could know it with the mind. So how on earth are we going to know this Atma? Why don't you say you can't know the Atma and finish the whole thing off? Yeah, then we don't have to sit and listen to all this. Why do you have to say? We strain ourselves to listen, oh, what, Atma and all that, Manaso, Mano, and it's the mind of the mind and all that. And then what? It cannot be known by the mind. So then the very, very important mantra, we will see 19th mantra. Manasaivanudrashtavyam neha nasti kinchana mrityo samrityam apnoti ya iha naneva pashyati. Right. Now again, it's contradiction. See, many times people who listen to this Vedanta or listen to read the Upanishad, and if they don't have a proper person to tell them, Guru Parampara to explain this meaning, they will think that these rishis of these Upanishads are very confused people. Just the previous word, it says Manaso Mano, is the mind of the mind, and the mind cannot know it. And now here it is said, Manasa eva anudrashtavyam. You can know this truth only with the mind. What? Manasa eva anudrashtavyam. What will you know? Na iha nana asti kinchana. That there is no nana, no nani. Hooray, what is this nana nani? How nana nani comes into the picture? In North India, nana is what? Mother's father is called nana. And mother's mother is called nani, right? In South India, it's got a different, I don't know, amumma and amma and all of that. But in North, they call nana nani. So therefore, in Coimbatore, there is an old age, the whole facilities are called nana nani. They are called. Here also it says, na iha nana. No, there is no nana also. Hare Rama, where did nana come from all of a sudden? The meaning of the word nana means differences, okay? In Sanskrit, the meaning of nana means what? Differences. Na iha nana. There is no differences. With your mind, you have to realize the truth. And what you have to realize that in the truth, there are no differences. Please, Swamiji, O Rishi of the Upanishad, you please once and for all say, can you know this truth with your mind or not? Don't confuse us. You prove to us that the seer cannot see the seen cannot see the seer. The mind is the seen and not the seer. So the mind cannot know the Atma. You prove to us. And now what are you saying? That with your mind only you see. So please decide once and for all. Do you need the mind or you don't need the mind? Can you see it with the mind or you cannot know it with the mind? Once and for all, you please decide and tell us. Don't get us confused. Okay. So the answer is yes and no. Hooray! What is this? Now let me explain this to you. There is a pole vaulting, a game called pole vaulting, which, only time you probably would see it, is when the Olympics are there. Because I love this game. It's a very, very dramatic. It looks beautiful also, when they do it. How many of you have seen this pole vaulting game? Yeah, it's a beautiful sport. So what do? They take one pole. And the pole is also of a very particular type, It will have a sharp edge, like in the sense that, so, you can fix that pole and it's flexible. It's flexible. It's not very rigid. It's very flexible and very strong also. So a player runs with the pole, then puts it into the ground and takes the support of the pole and dramatically, it's really beautiful the way they go over another. There's one more pole. They go over the pole, but they leave this pole, what they were carrying, they leave it here on this side only. They don't carry it with them to the other side. At a particular time, they will just leave that pole and there's another pole, they just go over the pole. And then it's very beautiful. It's really the way they do it. It's just is great to watch. Okay. So this is exactly what happens for the realization. So do you need the mind? Yes, the pole is the mind. Okay. But what type of a mind? Not any type of a mind will do. A specific type of a mind. So it has got a sharp edge. It is very strong. It is flexible. All of that. So not any mind can know the truth. Okay. A specific type of mind. We talked about Sukshmata, Shuddhata, Ekagrata. Remember, we keep on talking about these three qualities. In the language of Vedanta, we'll say Viveka, Vairagya, Shamadamadi, Shat Sampatti, Mumukshita. All this. This quality must be there in the mind. With that mind, what do? You contemplate upon the truth. And then what do? At the point of time, you go beyond the mind. Is it okay? So do you need the mind? Yes. For what? To go beyond the mind. Okay? What do? So can you saying no, without the mind, can you realize? No. With the mind, you'll realize? Yes. Now let me explain it a little differently. Are you okay with this so far? Everyone, just nod your head. Is it making sense? Yeah? Okay. Now, please tell me, where does ignorance exist? Okay, many of you, I don't think any one of you knows Latin as a language, right? So you don't know Latin, right? So where does ignorance of Latin exist? It's in your mind. It's not in your toes. It's not in your stomach. It's not in your nose. No. Where is ignorance of Latin? It's in your mind, right? So ignorance exists as I don't know Latin, right? I don't know. So what is in my hand right now? Please tell me. You really don't know. Now I open my hand and say, oh, there's nothing, right? So I don't know what is in your hand is the thought in your mind. Is it true or not? Now I open my hand and I show you that there is nothing. So what do you say? I know there is nothing. So what happened? I don't know. This thought was there. I know is a thought that removes the thought I don't know. Is it okay, everyone? Everyone? I don't know what is in her hand. What happened? I know. So what happened? This I know thought removed what? I don't know thought. Is that okay? Now, it did not create anything new over here. Okay, this whatever was there only, it removed. The thought's job was only to remove the ignorance. That's it. Have you got this point? Similarly, I don't know Atma. Now, how does this I don't know Atma exist? What is the nature of this I don't know Atma? Can you all think about it and tell me how does it exist? It exists in the mind. As what thought does this ignorance of the self exist in your mind? Ignorance of Atma, Atma का अज्ञान मन में किस वृत्ति के रूप में रहता है? How does which thoughts are there which these are called ignorant thoughts? See, this ignorance of Atma, which remains as the thought that I am a jiva, I am finite, I am the body, I am the mind, I am born, I die. This is the form in which the ignorance remains in the mind. Will you all remember this? What? Ignorance, see, this is the effect of ignorance. Yeah? Ignorance has got two qualities. One is called Avaran Shakti and Vikshepa Shakti. Avaran means you don't know the truth. And then how does it remain? Then what I don't know, I project something which is not there. And what is that I'm projecting? That I am the body, that I am the mind, that I am a jivatma, that I am finite, that I am. So this is exactly how it remains. Okay? Will you all remember this? So ignorance remains in the mind as what thought? I am a jivatma, I am born, I will die, I am the mind, I am I only exist as much as my body exists. This is called ignorance. Will you all remember this? Everyone? Now, if I am finite is a thought of ignorance, then what is thought of knowledge? This I am finite thought will go with what thought? I am infinite. Are you with me, everyone? I am born, thought is a thought of ignorance. With what thought will it go? I am unborn. Okay? If I am the body, thought is a thought of ignorance, then what is the thought of knowledge? I am not the body. Are you everyone understanding this? So this I am not the body thought will remove the thought what? I am the body. I am finite. This thought will be removed by the thought what? I am infinite. Have you all understood this part? Yeah. So this ignorance thought is there as I am the finite self. I am the jivatma. Then that I am the jivatma thought will be removed with what? I am the paramatma. I am the supreme being. Is it okay, everyone? So that is what is said over here. That do you need a mind? Yes, you need the mind. But what is the mind going to do? The mind is only going to remove this ignorance and not know the Atma as such. Have you understood the difference between that? So now the example given was very nice in our scriptures also, and all they give a very nice. They say what? Jalam kataka renuvatra. So when alum is put into water, what does alum do? Whatever dirt is there, it settles that down. And then the pure water is there. Similarly, this thought, what does it do? It does not create Atma. It does not say, oh, I am Atma, I know. No. It only removes the ignorance. That's all it does. Then the Atma shines in its own self, which is what? With no differences at all. No. There are no differences in that Atma. Okay? So that is what is said over here. He says that Manasaiva. Do you need a mind? Yes. What will the mind do? Mind will take out the ignorance which exists in the mind. Where does the ignorance exist? In the mind. So do you need a thought in the mind? Yes. Are you getting this point? Yes. Ignorance doesn't remain in Atma. There is no ignorance in the Atma. Atma is Atma. Ignorance is only in the mind. So the mental ignorance has to be removed by a mental thought. The thought of knowledge. Is that okay, everyone? Yes. So do you need the mind? Yes. Why do you need the mind? To go beyond the mind. To remove this thought, and then the Atma shines as it is in its pure nature. So now you understand why the important, what type of a mind. See, a regular, ordinary mind will not be able to, even that pole vaulting thing, when I look at it, I just feel, my God, I wouldn't be able to do even a little bit of it. It's an amazing game, that it's how much flexibility. And that person, who jumps and how fit they are, and especially when you see all these Olympics now, then you realize how physically unfit we are, isn't it? They are like so super fit, wow, and their body just turns. You watch these gymnastics and all of that, wow, unbelievable body. Similarly, for knowing the Atma also, what do you need? You need this super mind, this wonderful mind. So what are we doing in this mantra sadhana camp? We're trying to get this mind into being that type of a mind. So we can also what? Run with that pole, fix it, go beyond it. You understand? That is the whole idea of all the sadhanas that we do. So we get that mind ready, knowledge is given to us, and then with that knowledge, we can also go beyond the mind. Na iha na asti kinchana. Then it says, one who does not realize the truth, then what happens? Mrityu samrityurapnoti. Yaiha nana eva pashyati. When you see differences, you keep on going from death to death. Meaning what? Even if you think you're the body, then you keep dying and coming back again. And even if you think you're a jivatma, you keep taking bodies again and again. That's the meaning. So there are three standpoints. I keep telling you, this before also we talked. One is that I think I'm only the body. Then the second was what? I think I'm the jivatma. And the third is what? That I know I am the Paramatma, that supreme truth. Yeah. So I keep saying this, that even if we are not able to get the supreme highest knowledge, if we can be in that second stage, you understand, where we think I am the what? I am the Satchida. I am the Jivatma. That itself is a big thing. That itself is a big step. Instead of saying from I am all Satchidananda, that's difficult. So we first go to what stage? Where I am the Jivatma, that I am the so then also I know that I don't die. I will only go to the next body, and I'll go to the next body, etc. Okay? So ya iha naneva pashyati. So do you need the mind to realize the truth? Yes. Can you realize the truth only with the mind? No, you have to go beyond the mind also. So the mind is required. And what type of a mind is required? A special type of a mind, a subtle mind, a pure mind, a concentrated mind, etc., etc. So should we make efforts to make the mind like that? Yes. Okay. A mind which is there only. The mind has to be really bold. No? See, first of all, to accept this truth itself is a big thing. No, it's not easy. I told you, no? When I'll give an example. Very nice. I remember once with Gurudev, we were all sitting and having a talk. And some discussion was going on, and everyone was so involved with the discussion. And Guru was there, and all of us like. And then I was just sitting next to him, and all of a sudden he turns around to me, and he's saying, "Remember, all this is mithya." And I said, "My God, his mind never goes away from this truth." And I was so involved in whatever was being said that time. I said, "Oh, this, that." And he's looking at me and said, "Remember, all this is mithya." See, this mind. I remember another time, it was very interesting. Some devotee was there. And again, in the evening time, we were all sitting. And that person, that lady, was praising Gurudev, like saying, "Oh, you are the best. You are what a great Guru. You are this, you are that, etc., etc., etc." So the Gurudev was just listening to her. And he says, "You can keep on praising, but the ego will not rise." Why? Because it doesn't exist. Because she was really praising him. "You are like that, you are like that, you are like that, you are like that." He says, "Yeah, you can keep on praising. But the ego will not rise because it not exist." Yes, see, these are the type of, it's not when you have lived with a great master like that, or you have, come in contact with a great master, you know that what is being said in the Upanishad is possible. It is not just words. Otherwise, for us, it's difficult to think. We think, there's all, but they also live in the world. They also this with the world. Yes, they live in the world. They also interact with the world. They do all of that. But this knowledge never goes away. It is like a musician who is playing some different ragas. And then they have the sa, pa, sa in the background. That notes, the keys, that tanpura that will keep on playing that bass notes. Sa, pa, sa. And then so many ragas, they say, but that background thing never goes off. If a little tanpura goes here and there, immediately they stop the performance. They first adjust the sa, pa, sa, everything properly, and then they'll start. Haven't you seen programs like that, classical music programs? Yes. For them, that sa, pa, sa is happening constantly in the background. Only based on that, all the other singing is happening. Some different ragas, talas, this, that, everything is going on. But that sa, pa, sa never goes away. Similarly, for the Jnani also, for the realized master also, this sa, pa, sa never goes away. And they are there. With that as a background, they keep on doing everything in the world. That is a very, very interesting. So, Jnaneva pashyati. That is what is said. Okay. We'll go to the next one. Ekadhaivanu drashtavyam etad apramayam dhruvam viraja paramakashat aja atma mahan dhruvah. Ekadha eva anudrashtavyam. Ekadha means in the same way. See, now let's take an example to make you realize this. Space. I'm giving this as an example, but there cannot be a perfect example. All examples have their own limitations, right? But space is a pretty good example. Space is the same everywhere, right? Space is the same everywhere. It's emptiness. If you see, what do we call space is emptiness. जो अवकाश देता है वो आकाश है, that which gives, accommodates, which just gives. So an emptiness, right? There's an emptiness. So it accommodates everything. It includes everything. Everything remains in it. Right? Now, whether the space over here or there or outside or inside, and these words outside, inside are only with respect to some, some room or this and all that. But space is the same everywhere, right? Even now, like these fingers are there. So you have, say, space is here, there's space here, the space here. As though where the finger is there, the space is not there. Is the space there or not where the finger is there? Yes, the same space is there or different space. Space over here and space over here. Is it different or is it the same? It's the same. Space is not changed at all, right? You say that something is there, there's a finger over here, there's empty space over here. But space is always empty. Are you understanding this point? So even here, there's only empty space only. This is there enough. What do we call it? So space is the same every. Now this is a very interesting question. If X, Y, and Z, three people have the experience of Atma, will their experience of Atma be different or the same? They have realized Atma. I should not say experience of Atma. They have realized Atma. Will their realization be the same or will it be different? How many of you say the same? How many of you say different? How many of you say I don't know? Okay, let me put it this way. Can we have a different concept of God? How many of you say yes? How many of you say no? How many of you say I don't know? Something you have to put up your hand, okay? Should you have a different concept of God? How many of you say yes? How many of you say no? How many of you say I don't know? Now, this is a very interesting point. Huh? Now, everyone just learn this. That is a statement in Vedanta. Try to remember the statement. Knowledge is true to the object of knowledge and does not depend on the person who knows it. Remember the statement. What? Knowledge is true to the object of knowledge, not depend on the person who knows it. For example, what is this? This is spectacles, right? Now, if I want to know these spectacles as a mic, anything wrong with that? Supposing you say, this is spectacles, but if you want to know it as a mic, anything wrong with that? Or if I want to know it as a mic, anything wrong with that? You will say, Amma, if you want to know it as a mic, you please know it as a mic, but that's not the truth. Will you say that or not? If you want to imagine it to be some mic and all, that's okay, but that's an imagination. A knowledge of this must be what true to this and not what I want to know it. Everyone clear about this? Yeah? Knowledge is true to the object. What is there? That I have to know it as it is. Similarly, Atma is there. If I have to know Atma, I have to know Atma as Atma is, not as I want to know it. Is that okay, everyone? But no, I want to know Atma in this way. Then you can know Atma in whatever way, but that is not Atma. Clear, everyone? If I want to know Atma, I have to know Atma as Atma is. If I have to know Paramatma, I have to know Paramatma as Paramatma is. If I have to know God, I have to know God as God is, not as I want to know Him. Because if I know God as I want to know Him, that is my perception or imagination or concept of God. Next question I ask is Atma a concept? Is God a concept? There's another very common thing. God is a concept of the human intellect. Have you heard this one before? Many times people say this. God is a concept of the human intellect. So is God a concept? If God is a concept, then you can have different concepts of God. Is it okay? Yes. If we say God is the ultimate truth, then you have to know the truth as the truth is, not as I want to know it. Is it very, very clear? So therefore it says Ekadha. This truth is known in the same way because it is homogeneous, it is one. There's no differences in it. So if you want to know it, you have to know it in the same way by everyone. Ekadha eva anudrashtavyam. Is that very clear? This concept is God understood? If I want to know Atma or Paramatma, I must know Atma or Paramatma as Atma Paramatma is, not as I want to know it. But I want to know him like that now. What is it to you? No problem at all. You can know it as you want to, but then that is not the truth. Is that okay, everyone? Yes. So many times people say, no, see, this Vishishtadvaita people say like that, Dvaita people say like that, this people say like that, this people say like that. Why? These are different, what? Concepts of this. But if you want to realize the truth as it is, and you see people who have realized the truth, whether it's of Swami Vivekananda or a Swami Chimananda or a Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi, then they will all talk of that Atma in the same way. Is it true or not? You see how they talk of Atma. They'll talk in the same way. Why? Because ekadha eva anudrashtavyam. And says, what is this? Virajaha para. It is free from all raja. Raja means what? Raja means all mala. Mala means all the dirt of the mind. You know, I'm not going to go into this concept where they say even dharma is mala. What is dharma? So we won't talk of that. Right now for us, dharma is not mala. Only adharma is mala. That is good enough for us. Virajaha para akasha is beyond space. Unborn Atma Mahan Dhruvaha. Dhruvaha means that which remains the same, never changes its form, remains always the same. Many times people tell me that this God, Atma, Paramatma, whatever name you give it, will remain the same even in the next lifetime. No, I said, yeah, 100%. Even if I become old and all, the Atma will not change. No, definitely it will not change. Even 100 lifetimes later also Atma will be there available. Na? Yes, available. Will it disappear and become less? It will become dilute or this? No, it will never become dilute. Is it more concentrated and available more for people who are great people? No. It's the same available to everyone. There is no, Atma is not dilute in some people and concentrated in some people, or more available for some people, less available for some people. There is no such thing. It's equally available to everyone, equally available. Then what is the hurry? Let's do it now whenever we want to do it. What's the big hurry, Ray? Just leave us alone now, right? So there it is said that it will remain the same. Dhruvaha, exactly the way it is, it will always remain. Ekadha, it will be the same. It will be homogeneous, ever the same, never changes. And that is what I love the most about this Atma, is that it is always, number one, it's always available. What a lovely thing. Even the people you love so much are not available all the time. Do you agree with me? They're not available 24 hours for everything. No, they're not available. Everyone else in the world or anything that is not available all the time. But Atma is what? Always available. Anytime you can reach to Atma, Paramatma, whatever you call, then you call him God. See, in the language of bhakti, we'll say God. In the language of philosophy, we'll say what? Truth, Atma. It makes no difference. Even you can say in the language of bhakti, say call God. It doesn't matter. Bhagwan always available, of course available. 24/7, yes, that's the best part of God. That's the best part of Bhagwan. Anytime, even when we go to sleep, he is always what? Available. What a lovely thing. Ever the same. Unchanging. Dhruvaha. That is what is said. Okay, so now the next verses we shall see tomorrow. Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.